Good morning, everyone, and happy July 4th to those of us who are in the United States. Today, I want us to pray for our country, pray for our nation, pray for our nations wherever we may be watching, that the Lord will grant our leaders wisdom, that the Lord will grant our leaders understanding. We just want to thank God for every nation. We want to thank Him for where He puts each and every one of us. We want to thank Him for sparing our lives. Already we are in the second half of the year, and it has been a truly challenging year. We started off very, very well, and then we got hit from all sides with all kinds of issues, health, economic, social, and so many other things. But we are still standing, and we will continue to stand by the grace of God. So welcome again, welcome this morning. In the middle of all this, we had to start a garden, and well, it kept us occupied. It's still keeping us occupied, and it's also providing. We are now beginning to harvest. Actually, yesterday I was able to get my first harvest. There was some cherry tomatoes, I think about 5 little tomatoes, but the others are doing very, very well. You can see, so we do have a vegetable garden, and that will keep us well supplied with vegetables. So today, it's going to be another wonderful time in the kitchen, but very soon we'll be able to do straight from the garden into the kitchen. I'm waiting for all the fruits to get done, and then we'll start using some of the stuff from our garden in our cooking. Today we are having something special from Igbo land. We have a wonderful, I love that soup. I love it. It tastes, I just like it. It's nice, it's aromatic, it's spicy, it's very refreshing. I'm also told it's very medicinal. I'm told that it's especially good for when women have babies. For a woman who has just had a baby, that it helps with soothing the stomach and helping things go back to normal. I don't know, but it does taste really nice. It's medicinal, but it tastes really, really good. It's Ofe Nsala. I call it white soup because it is white. So we are going to have, again, an amazing cook today. It's the same cook you had last week. So get ready. Christie is going to allow us into her kitchen this morning, and we are going to all learn how to make Ofe Nsala. The good thing about it is she says some of the ingredients we can get online. However, remember, one of the goals of this kitchen is to teach us basic cooking skills with as few ingredients as possible. So you will notice that as tasty as this soup is, she has maybe about 6-7 ingredients, and that is all. All right then, let's go over to Christie's kitchen, and it's going to be a wonderful time with her. Good morning once more. It's from Yobilano, reflections, and a happy July 4th.
Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Christie and Nwogu. I am a member of RCCG Living Spring. My pastor, Pastor Fumi Obilano, has been on me now for several years to make this soup, popularly known as white soup. But the local name is Ofe Nsala. Ofe Nsala. It's a soup local to the Igbo tribe of Nigeria. It's something similar to pepper soup that most people know about, but it just has some unique spices that are used in it that gives it a very unique taste. So here today, Pastor, I am going to cook your white soup for you, and so let us get started. So right now I am going to show us my ingredients that I use. This soup can be cooked with so many different things, but I like to just make it with fish. It's a very healthy soup. All right, here we go. So my major ingredient for this soup is catfish. Here I have about 3 pounds of catfish. You can use any quantity that you like. 3 pounds catfish. I have stocked fish, just a little bit. I will tell us more about these ingredients later. You can substitute any of this for anything that you have. This is my dried fish, already washed. I have crayfish, and I have, these are the spices. These spices are unique to the Igbo tribe of Nigeria, but when Pastor asked me to make this, she said she wants to, her aim is to make something that people can easily find and make in their homes. I wasn't going to make it because I know that these spices were not that easy to find, but I looked on Amazon and Etsy and found out that these spices are all over Amazon and Etsy. So I said, okay, let me make it, and anybody who really is interested can go onto Amazon. I think Etsy had more of it, you know, to buy it. So this is one of the spices called Uziza seed. So I will try to put a picture of what it looks like, what the seed looks like, because I already had mine blended for easy use. So this is Uziza seed. It's called, I believe, Piper Guinness, or they call it Uziza pepper. It's spicy and peppery. And then this is Oda. Oda is like a slender, long, black pepper looking tin. I don't have much of it anymore. That's why I'm only using a very small quantity. This is actually all I have, but it's also good that you don't use too much of it, because it tends to give this bitter after effect if you use too much of it. Then this is my Scotch bonnet pepper. I have about two here, because this soup is no spicy. You can spice it up or spice it down as much as you want. And then this is called Otazi leaf. Otazi is spelled Utazi, because they have Okazi as well. So I don't want people to confuse Okazi and Otazi. Otazi has a bitter taste to it. This is the dried one that I have at home. If you were like back in Nigeria, you would get a fresh one, green one, and just slice it up and use. But this is the dried one of it. I also found all this on Etsy. Then another leaf that I would have normally used that I don't have anymore is this Uziza seed. Also has a leaf. So the plant has both, the seeds are useful and the leaves are very useful. All these herbs are very medicinal. So I would normally use the leaf of this Uziza, but I don't have it anymore. I'm hoping for a restock, you know, from back home. But you can do without it because it gives the same flavor. Okay, and then as usual, our salt and seasoning cubes. And then to thicken the soup. So like I said, the soup is like pepper soup. If you want to just make it watery and drink it, you know, you're fine. But because we normally use it, you eat it with pounded yam or any swallow of your choice, just so you can at least dip it in there and get something to use to swallow, we thicken it. So here today, I'm using my yam. I already boiled this yam, cut it into a little bit, boiled it. I'm gonna be blending it into a very light paste that I can just put to thicken my soup. It's not every time that I use yam, because I can always find yam here. So whatever you have in your house that can serve as a thickener. If it's yam flour you have, sometimes I use my oatmeal flour that we use as swallow in the house. So if you have oatmeal flour or cocoyam, you know, you boil your cocoyam and also pound it or blend it, whatever you choose to do. So anything that you can use as a thickener or a healthier version, that's it. So as you can see here, this soup is very light and healthy. And you don't put any oil. You don't need palm oil or any oil. You don't need onions. You know, don't do all the extra things. This is just a very simple soup to cook. So let us get started. All right. So here, the way I start my cooking, because of this because catfish is a very delicate fish. If you don't cook it properly, you might just have a big pot of scattered fish. So you have to make sure that you cook this food. My advice is, before you start cooking, have all your ingredients out. So that as it's boiling, you're putting everything in there, and within a few minutes, your soup is done, because catfish doesn't take too long to cook. So to help my catfish not to break, I have water already boiling in the pot. So that as you put it in the hot water, it helps to toughen the fish from the beginning. And the fish is, you know, more easy to manage. So here I'm putting my catfish in my pot of hot water, and then our cooking begins. So I'll be talking as I cook. So this fish is a very special fish. You know, back home, if you're expecting like guests, or even here, if you're expecting guests, and there's nobody, any tribe that has tasted this fish, this soup, that hasn't liked it. It has a very unique flavor to it. If you're expecting guests and you really want to show them that, okay, I really want to welcome you, like your big guest, you know, you can make this soup for them. It's like they see it as rich, you know, rich soup. And you know, also here, it's a very tasty. Once you're cooking it, the aroma. My husband loves this soup so much. You know, even when somebody is not feeling well, if somebody has a cold, you know, just make this soup for them and let them just drink it. And the spices are very medicinal. They give you this this effect, you know, this decongestant effect, you know, that your nose just begins to run and things begin to flow. So here I've added my fish to the pot, and I'm also going to add my stockfish. So I'm going to tell us that this soup, this is my own way of making this soup. You can make this soup in different ways. The only thing that is common to everything is that you have to use this otazi leaf that gives it the unique flavor, and you have to use the uziza and oda if you you know, if you want. So if you don't have any of this meat in your house, you can use chicken. I can decide to add, even this soup is mostly so that you can drink and eat meat. So I can decide to add, you know, I can decide to use chicken, beef, you know, cow skin, or whatever that I choose to use. So you can make it your own, you know, your own flavor. But I personally, and my family personally, prefers using our catfish. So like I said, everything is moving pretty fast. Everything is moving pretty fast as we're cooking. We add our seasoning cubes and salt. That's all you need. That's all you need for the, you know, to start this. The seasoning cube, the salt, and the pepper goes in at the beginning. Just a little bit of salt. We can season as, you know, more as we go. And I add my pepper at once. I like to chop my pepper because sometimes the appearance of this soup can look very like blah. So at least, you know, since we don't have any other fresh ingredients like the fresh otazi leaf and the rest of them, at least this chopped red pepper will give it a little bit of color. So here we go, it's cooking. We have our salt, pepper, and seasoning cube there. So I'm going to start blending my yam. Every other thing is good to go. The dry fish is already soft and tender. So if I put it now, it's just going to break. So as soon as everything starts boiling, I will add the dry fish and everything will just boil together. So now I'm going to start blending my yam while I, you know, continue. So usually in my culture, this soup, like I said, it can be made in different ways. But when a woman has a child, especially if it's back home, they will make this soup for you so much you will get tired of it. But I don't think you can ever get tired of this soup because it's very tasty. They use it because it has this cleansing effect. They feel like it helps you to flush out all the excesses and whatever. You know, it just has like a, like say, laxative effect and a cleansing effect. And it's, if you can Google this spices, like the uziza seed is called Piper guinense in English. You can look it up and see it has a lot of, you know, medicinal properties to it. The otazi leaf is called Gangronema latifolium, and the odor is called Negro pepper. So all these things, they are very, very medicinal, and they're very good for you. So look them up, you know, find them on Etsy or Amazon and use it, you know, give it a try and see. If you don't have dry fish, you don't have to have dry fish. Like normally when I'm making, I don't even use the stockfish I'm using today, but sometimes if you just want to put extra, you add your stockfish. So you can just make it with only catfish, only dry fish, only stockfish, or you just make it with your chicken, whatever you have in the house. Just as long as you put these spices to it, you still have Ofe Nsala. So we call it Ofe Nsala because Ofe Nsala is, Nsala means watery, like sala, just flowing, you know, something that flows. So that is the meaning of it. But people call it white soup because it's like, it's white because it doesn't have any oil to it. Okay? All right. So I'm going to start blending my, usually I will use the water that I used to boil the yam to blend the yam, but this yam somehow just sucked up all the water and I couldn't get any water from it. And then another way that people cook this is that as soon as they start cooking their soup, they boil the yam inside the soup. So the yam cooks at the same time with the soup, but I don't like to do that because I don't like to overcook my fish. Because sometimes if the yam is tough, the yam could take a longer time to boil, and that will make me to overcook my fish. So you can also do it that way, but I like to, pre-boil my yam and then just blend it and use it. So I add a lot of water to, blend my yam, just to make sure that it can easily just go in and mix with the soup. It's, light, pasty. All right, at this point, this soup has been cooking for about maybe roughly 10 minutes. And as you can see, the catfish is still intact, because of how we put it in, and it hasn't overcooked. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and add my dried fish. So you can see that this soup has a lot of meat. So it's like with every scoop, you get something to chew on. That is part of, what this soup is about. You always have to have something that goes into your mouth. In Tanta, we call it in Tanta, you have to be chewing. Something has to be going into your mouth, every time you chew. So it's good if you use a healthy option, so that you're chewing on healthy stuff. So I've put my dried fish. Once it boils again, I will add my thickener. So you can see here I have blended my yam. It's very like runny and pasty. Some people will pound it and just put it in there and allow it to break. I like it this way because as soon as I put it, it just goes in and gives the soup that texture that I want without overcooking or taking too long to cook. All right, at this point, the soup has boiled for maybe another 2 minutes. So I'll add my crayfish. I like crayfish, so I use a lot of crayfish for my food. I feel like it gives it a very good taste. And crayfish is a little salty too, so when you add crayfish, sometimes you've already gotten some salt in the food. So you may not need to put too much salt again. And all right, and then at this point, I'm going to add my thickener to the soup. I'm not going to use this whole thing. I can, preserve it for another time because it came out a lot. So I add this, see how it's going, and I just stir it in. I'm going to add more water to this soup. And then, as you can see, you don't want to make it too thick because when the soup cools down, it kind of also thickens up. So you don't want to make it too thick. You see how light it is. I'm still going to add a little bit of water to it. Alright, just going to cover it again to boil for maybe 3 minutes, and I'll add the rest of the spices. So at this point, our soup has boiled for maybe another 3 minutes. As you can see, the yam has changed the color a little bit. Now it looks more like soup, a little bit thick. You don't want it to be too thick. And when you're stirring this soup, you don't just stir this soup like, you have to just stir it in little portions so that you're not, because everything in here is delicate. So at this point, it's already smelling very good, but we're now going to add our spices. And this is the point that as soon as you add the spices, the smell of the whole place changes. And everybody knows that what you're cooking, oh wow, hey, you're cooking Ofe Nsala, because that's just the smell. And like I said before, my husband loves this soup, and my son in particular, my son is the one that if you cook any other soup, you're fighting with him to eat, swallow. But this is one soup that you won't fight with him. In fact, he will drink it. In fact, sometimes he will wake up early in the morning before even breakfast. He will go and take the soup and warm it and eat. He calls it a spicy soup or pepper soup. So, at least we're happy that he likes he likes this one. This is the one that will bring him back home, you know, maybe when he grows up and leaves home. He will say, okay, let me go back home and eat my mommy's white soup. So, like I said, you know, so here we're almost ready. Because my, if I had the fresh otazi leaf, I will add it maybe just towards the end. But because my otazi is dry, I'm adding it together with the rest of the spices just to give it time to cook and soften up a little bit. Otazi can be very strong and overpowering, especially these dry ones. You can just get deceived thinking it's very small, and then you just put too much, but you don't want to add too much so it's not too bitter. You may want to add less than what I'm adding now. You know, we're used to it, so we don't really mind, but you may want to add less than I'm adding now. So I've added all my spices. I'm just going to taste the soup, if you know, for salt. All right, I think we need just a little more salt. Tastes good and spicy too. This one will clear you up. All right, so at this point we will cover it up to just boil for maybe another 3 minutes, and our soup is ready. At this point our soup is done. We're turning off our heat, and let's see what the face looks like. So here is our Ofe Nsala white soup. You know, you don't have to, you can eat this with your swallow, you can eat this with yam, you can boil yam and eat with this, any starch potato that you like, rice, we use it to eat rice as well, white rice. You can eat it with, you know, any form of swallow, yam, white rice, plantain, like the unripe plantain as well. You boil unripe plantain with it as you're cooking it, or you boil yam with it as you're cooking it and use it to eat it. So this soup can be eaten in different ways, okay? So now our soup is ready, and we are going to dish it out to show you all. Okay, so here we are done. This is our Ofe Nsala, okay? So go ahead and make yours and enjoy. I hope you learned something new today. All right, God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.